start by brushing the hairs. Especially if you have any product, any foundation or any concealer, anything that might be on the hairs itself. And then I start by selecting my brow color. So I'm gonna be using this kind of like ashier brown color. I always love starting at the end of the brows, just mostly because a lot of people end up going way too heavy on the front of the brows. And what ends up happening is I end up kind of looking a little bit angry, and you don't want your brows to look angry. You want to look friendly. You want to look like nice and framed. And okay, so starting at the end. Everyone's ends up having less hair here anyway, so you can spend a little bit more time here, more product. So now that we have applied the product, there's almost nothing left on my brush. But with that exact same amount of product, which is very little, I kind of brushed it towards the front. That gives it a nice, softer look. Okay. And now if you find that it's a little bit too structured or too bold, you can always grab the spoolie, or you can use an old mascara wand. Just make sure to really wash it well. Just kind of run it through the brows. Another thing that I've seen some people do is they just kind of go like this when they're spooling their eyebrow. Don't do that, because this is powder and this is your foundation. So what you're gonna actually end up doing is just end up creating like little streaks, which you can't really tell, but maybe in a photo you might be able to see it. It just kind of looks like a weird gradient. So again, just using the angle, going with the angle of your brow. So on the other side, I'm actually gonna show you how to create more of an arch if you don't really have one. So we're gonna be using the exact same colors. The exact same colors as before. So start off by this color at the end. Now I almost want you to imagine 3 points on an eyebrow. So the very top point here, this point here, and this point right here. Now if you don't have very much of an arch, it just kind of goes straight. If you want to grab this arch area here and almost go like a millimeter higher than where your actual brow is. And then go to that point there, which is actually maybe a millimeter lower than your actual brow. Okay. So we're just leaving that as placement. Grabbing that color again. Grab a little color here too. Dust off the excess. Now that point here where your last hair is, essentially go hair lower, imagine a lower hair, and almost connect it to that point there. Okay, so from there, now I almost have like barely any product left on my brush, but I'm gonna use that exact same product and the bristles itself to blend everything together. So from here, and then from here, start blending this. One looks incredibly lifted and the other one looks a little bit more natural. Now, personal preference, whichever one you prefer. Some people love having arched brows. It gives a lot of expression to the face. Or some people like being a little bit more natural, and it's completely up to you. Play around, especially because eyebrows are never the same, so you're always gonna find that one looks a little better than the other one. So what I like to do is I always go with a brow that's a little bit more difficult first, and then I kind of try to match my good brow to that one. Just makes my life easier. So there you go. So whichever eyebrow that you like better, do that one. I'm gonna match this one later. If you guys are curious to know how I did the foundation technique, just check out this little box right here. It'll tell you everything I did, and stay tuned for more foundation techniques as well, depending on your skin tone and your skin type, so stay tuned.